Hello, I'm Scott Wrighton, and it's my pleasure to serve as Decatur's city manager and to bring you weekly updates on what's going on with the COVID-19 pandemic and the other activities of your Decatur city government. I usually lead these talks with some information from the state or local health department. There have been 9,776 cases so far in the just over a year that we've all been struggling with the pandemic, and that's led here in Macon County to 183 deaths. These are statistics that the local health department has tracked for us regularly. But I think that they aren't the most important statistics anymore. In fact, others have grown far more important as we learn more about the virus and what our community response should be. And I've shared some of those other statistics with you in the past as well, and will do so now. The Region 6 positivity rate, which includes Macon County, is 2.4%, and the positivity rate here in Macon County is now 2.2%. Now, both of those numbers are good numbers, but if you've been keeping track of the numbers in previous weeks, you'll know that it has slowly ticked up each week, both for the Macon County number as well as for the Region 6 number. This doesn't mean that we should be concerned that lockdowns will resume or that public places will be closed again. I don't think that's on the horizon. But this slow uptick in the positivity rate, linked with the fact that both of our local hospitals have also seen a small uptick in cases, should make us all the more diligent about the simple things that we can do, whether it's wearing masks or continuing to practice social distancing, making sure that surfaces are clean, and just being aware of the need to maintain this vigilance. I'll tell you that even personally, I sometimes think, okay, things are getting better, so we don't have to be quite as attentive to these things. And that's the kind of thought process I think we all need to be aware of and continue to be vigilant about it. Because these simple things that we can continue to do will ensure that the governor's office and others won't feel compelled to initiate additional measures that would hamper the economy at an important time right now when our economy is starting to come back. Vaccines are becoming more readily available, and it is our goal here in Central Illinois and Macon County to make vaccines available to everyone who wants them by early to mid-May. The Macon County Health Department has a clinic at Richland Community College. Crossing Healthcare also has availability for people who want to get the vaccine. And the Macon County Health Department has also initiated some special outreach to churches and senior citizens beginning this Friday to make sure that people who might have trouble accessing the vaccine have opportunities to do so. So I encourage you to contact both of those organizations if you'd like to get a vaccine. The people who are eligible to do so keeps expanding. It's still not available to the entire general public, but what the governor's vaccine plan calls groups 1, 1A, 1B, 1B plus, and so forth, which now includes government workers and a larger number of people. Of course, everybody over the age of 65 and those with underlying medical conditions. Means that more and more of our community will be able to get the vaccine, and in probably short order, and probably only several weeks, it'll be available to everyone who wants it without limitation. So take advantage of that as you are able to do that. Some other things going on in your local government. I want to remind you, as I have in the past, that there's still one more local election coming up on Tuesday, April the 6th. Local citizens will vote not just for the city council election. Back in February, we had a primary election that was only for city council. But on April 6th, you'll be voting both for township trustees, Decatur Park District board members, school board candidates, as well as city council. If you think that you might be away on that first full week in April, or if you're like me, you sometimes just forget, you have the opportunity, it's already started, to advance vote down at the county building at the corner of Main and Wood Street. Walk in there, it's really easy to do, and make sure that your vote is cast. But we want to have a much larger voter turnout for the municipal general election on April 6th than we had in the February primary. So we hope that everyone who's eligible to vote will do their part and participate in the April 6th election. A few days before the election, the city of Decatur and our police department are sponsoring a Decatur Community Day of Peace. What this event is primarily about, although there'll be other activities as well, is primarily about a gun buyback. It's a measure to get guns off of the street by paying a fair sum for some of them. I'm not going to go into the details of what we pay for different kinds of guns. There's information about that on our website and through the Decatur Police Department. and some other public information that they have generated. But for more information about those specific questions, you can call 217-424-2745. The event is going to take place at 333 South Martin Luther King Drive. That's at a church at that location from 2 till 6 p.m. on Friday, April the 2nd. So this, among other activities, other programs of the city, are intended to get more of these guns that causes tragedy off of the streets. The next city council meeting, which will be in early April as well, will include many different things, but one of them is additional action by the mayor and city council on building demolitions. When I first arrived as the city manager more than 2 years ago, people said, well, we shouldn't tear down a lot of buildings unless we know exactly what sorts of uses and buildings are going to be put in their place. Well, the reality is that sometimes these structures are in such poor condition that in order to protect public safety, we have to take them down. And while we would like to know how they're eventually going to be using the property, in some cases, the reality is that no developer is really going to be serious about giving the city a proposal for a development project or a repurposing of this land until it's completely cleared of restrictions on the title, as well as cleared of physical problems like a derelict old building or other junk and debris that might be on the property. So in many cases, the city's revitalizations, one of its many revitalization strategies is to clear larger areas where we've already done some clearing or where we may already own property, in the hopes of assembling larger tracts of land that can be made available to developers, even though at the time that we're clearing it, we may not know exactly what's going to be put there. Later in 2021, the City Council will convene, as it has every year for the last couple of years, at least one more study session on neighborhood revitalization. In addition to the work that's being done in the Johns Hill area, there are other perhaps less visible improvements and progress and strategies being pursued on neighborhood revitalization, having to do with acquisition of land or having to do with creating neighborhood gardens or helping small businesses to locate in some of these neighborhoods. These strategies take time. Some of them aren't as visible, but please know that our Community Development Department staff is working hard on them, and the purpose of the update that the City Council has a couple times a year is to make some of those more public, let the citizens know about them, and give the City Council the opportunity to take whatever additional decisions they have to make, or actions or decisions that are necessary at the council level to make sure that we keep all of those things going. The neighborhood revitalization project is certainly a very good example of an initiative and a policy priority of the city that can't hope to achieve its objectives without the assistance of its citizens. So on that, as on many other projects, we thank you for the assistance and the encouragement that you provide and the assistance that you give us in making Decatur better.